We'll go ahead and get started. This is Newton Planning Commission meeting of September 9th. First item on the agenda is approval of the August 5th minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion second. Any other comment? All those in favor say yes. Yes. Opposed say no. Motion carries. Second item, consider a zoning amendment for Southeast 9th Street, the Murdock properties. Devin, you can lead us through this?
Yes, Commission. So if you'll just follow along with me on the memo for this, it's on page 7. I'll try to summarize this a little bit since we did the lot south of here last month, so it's pretty similar memo to last month's zoning amendment. So yeah, the purpose here is to consider an application for this zoning amendment. It's a rezoning from an I2, which is a general industrial, to an I3, which is a heavy industrial. The legal description is Lot 1, Block 2 of the replat of the KLP edition. Some of the additional information to consider is attachment D is the zoning map of surrounding properties. Also note that this will be just a recommended action that's sent to the City Commission. And all of this criteria that we're using today, it's found in the zoning regulations. It's found in Article 1, Section 1.10-4, subsection D1 of the zoning ordinances. Just note that we're going to try to make a finding on each of the 5 following criteria, A through E. And like I said, also note that we did Block 1, Lot 1 at the last Planning Commission meeting. So the first criteria is whether this amendment is consistent with the zoning regulations, the comprehensive plan, and pretty much any and all rules and regulations of the city. Yeah, and so just making sure that's consistent with all of our rules. The staff comments are just consider if all possible uses under the new zoning, whether that's suitable for the property and the surrounding area. The uses, it's not limited to this intended current use by applicant. It goes to all the uses that are allowed under that new zoning. And then also make sure that you note that the maps to consider for all this are attachments D and E. They provide a picture reference of the current zoning and the future uses of the surrounding area. And so just consider all of that for your answer on criteria A. Criteria B is just kind of looking at the compatibility with the surrounding properties and making sure that also the suitability of the current property use is okay. And so the staff comments on that, we're listing out all of the specific activities that can be an I3 zone property can do. Some of those include an agricultural uses in a floodplain, animal hospitals, dog kennels, automobile wrecking yards, salvage yards, ready mix concrete and asphalt mix plants, petroleum refining, an automatic car wash, warehouses. So you can kind of see there's a diverse list there, all industrial uses. But yeah, so you have to kind of consider all of those when we're looking at the criteria and whether it's compatible with that, with all the other surrounding properties. Criteria C is we're looking at the availability of the public services and utilities. The staff comments on that are all city-owned public utilities are adjacent to the property and they're available for connection upon request via permit application and payment with inspections. Then moving on to criteria D, we have to look at whether this is a correction of any zoning errors. The staff comment, staff are not aware of any errors that this application's trying to correct. Then moving on to criteria E, we have to look at the changing conditions in the area and kind of look at a public gain versus a individual loss criteria. And the staff comments for that is that the site is currently zoned I2 and it meets those existing requirements. Rezoning to the I3 is needed for a warehouse that supports cross-docking materials and manufacturing related to shingle and asphalt production. And then making sure the commission is aware of all the attachments that we have. Attachment A is the zoning application itself. Attachment B is the property ownership notification list. Attachment C is the affidavit of publication and mailing notice. And like I mentioned before, D and E are that current and future land use zoning map. And so the recommendation that we're looking for is whether we want to approve or deny this requested zoning. And then we send that recommendation to the city commission. That'll be heard at the September 24th city commission meeting. And so that's kind of everything we're looking at here today. I think we need, or does the commission have any questions on anything?
Thanks, Devin. Any questions for Devin? I did have one. In the packet a month ago, there was the agreement between the city of Newton and the property owner.
Mm-hmm.
Those restrictions include this property also, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, those still exist on the same property.
Okay.
Yep.
Is the applicant here? There's no other questions for Devin? The applicant's not here. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and open it up to a public hearing. Does anyone here from the public want to speak to this matter? We'll close the public hearing. Any comments? Discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve the rezoning from I3 to I2, or I2 to I3. There, got it right.
Oh, do you want to add on to that? For the
Adopt the staff comments
And
as written.
Yeah.
We have to make a finding on each criteria.
Yes, I want to do that, in addition to my motion.
Oh, do you want to say that? You're just
Oh, do I
finding
need
in
to stab?
favor.
Do you want me to specify them? Or just saying addition, with the additional staff comments is fine, right?
Staff comments.
That's what we've done in the past, so.
Yeah. Okay, we have a motion, we have a second? Okay, motion is second, any other discussion? All those in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Okay, next item on the agenda is old business. Justin or Devin, you got any old business? Aubrey?
No.
Okay. Any new business?
No.
No. On my end. Okay, we will consider ourselves adjourned. And move it to Mr. Hanson.
All right, looks like we're moving on to the Historic Preservation Commission agenda for today. Consider approval of the July 1st, 2024 meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
So we have for motion and a second. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All not in favor, same sign. Motion carries. Review of 106 East Broadway new windows.
All right, good evening, Commissioners. Your first item for review today is at 106 East Broadway, which Shares many addresses on that parcel, but for today, we're looking at a set of window replacements for what's often known as the Masonic Lodge. In your packet, you've got the district nomination, but the project description for tonight is asking for the replacement of four of the four windows on the west facade, which is the south-facing portion of the building. You'll see in your attached proposal that they're removing the current windows, which are kind of a rusted metal, and replacing them with white fixed windows with the simulated divided light and the insulated glass. It's fairly straightforward in their replacement ask with a suitable material. So I would stand for any questions, but the motions that we're looking for tonight on this property would be to approve the project as it would not damage or destroy a historic resource, and then if you want, approve the application as presented or with modifications. And as you will remember, in these window remodels window replacements that we have been doing, we usually look for repairing when possible or replacement, like in this case, of a suitable material.
You guys are representing the Masonic Temple. Would you like to say anything? Public hearing open?
Well, I'd like to say we better,
Please stand up and say your name and address, please.
my name's Tim Timmons.
Into the microphone so everybody can hear you, Tim.
Oh, I'm sure they can hear me.
You're on camera.
Tim Timmons, live at 14 Plum Court. And I am a Mason, and I'm also the president of the Building Managers Committee. I can tell you that I have been trying to get windows replaced for 2 years. First time we tried, we ran into a price and it scared us. And we had another guy come in and quote, and we weren't quite thrilled with what he was going to do. And that's when we found out that we had to really come over here and get this approval. So I got in contact with Greg, and he's got us a quote. And I believe he's even got a down payment on it. So anyhow, as you look at the pictures, if you've looked at them, I'm sure you feel that there is a threat to them falling out on somebody walking underneath them. So.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any discussion with us?
Move this along, I'll make a motion to approve, so we can go to discussion.
Excuse me. One more thing, we've been working for about 2 months with XCAT Construction, trying to get a quote on the labor. And from what I understand, they were supposed to have one today, but we haven't seen it yet. So I just throw that in there, so, because it's not gonna be cheap, I'm sure.
Do I have to abstain on this vote?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Motion stands.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
And one
All
abstention.
opposing, same. I abstain.
Thank you.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Review of 423 North Main, new awning and windows.
And I'll go ahead and make an edit. I apologize, I did proof this agenda, but it's supposed to say to remove the awning and add new windows. So my apologies for the typo there. 423 North Main, as we might have some photos that can come up here. You might recognize it as the current home of the Harvey County Now. And in the request is to remove the deteriorated awning and replace the windows with a modern insulated feature. These windows are not original to the building, and the transoms are actually completely removed behind that awning. It is just pretty much sheetrock and plywood, if I remember correctly, just sheetrock. So in the proposal, you'll notice it'll be to fully renovate the front facade windows and to replace the transom windows where they would have been, and then to repair any of the stucco and paint. Same principles apply, same motions needed.
Okay. Do we have anybody from either party wanting to speak? Adam or Mr. Harder? Any questions on our part for them? Sure.
I mean, I'll give you an overview, but I'm not an engineer, and I'm not the one doing the project.
Thanks for that clarification, because I was wondering where the pictures of the awning change were at earlier. I was like, as I was searching through, I was going,
I apologize.
what are they replacing the awning with?
I apologize for the typo. It didn't make it into the body of the.
Yeah,
it
no
was on the
problem.
front.
I had a question on the removing of the awning.
Yes.
What's behind it is, do they have to replace any brick, or is that just the stucco replacement you're talking about?
It'll just be the stucco. So the lintel's still intact, and literally on the rear portion, if you're standing in the building and looking inward, it is just simply plywood where there, or I apologize, it is not even plywood. It is sheetrock where there would normally be windows. There's nothing there. So when the awning comes down, something will need to go in its place, and they are replacing it with the traditional transom windows. Keeping in, it fully fits our downtown guidelines and the Secretary of the Interior's guidelines.
Look a lot better.
Anything will look better than the,
Yeah, for sure.
than the shingles that are hanging there today, that have been there for lots of years.
Any other questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the project as it will not damage or destroy a historic resource. And approve the application as presented as it fits within local guidelines.
We have a first and second. All in favor, say yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All opposed, same. Motion carries.
That's a wholehearted yes.
Review repairs in the Workington House.
All righty, so we get to move into the residential area. This is a quick review of a project that was presented to the City Commission from our city engineer on August 13th. The Workington House, as you may all know, is owned by the city and operated by a small nonprofit of all volunteer with a very, very super part-time staff person. Due to age and some weather, the 4 chimneys, which are part in the original nomination, which I have in your packet, are in need of some substantial repair. They have been looking for a contractor. Currently, we are still trying to find it, but during the August 13th meeting, the City Commission did approve funding for this project. So as we continue to nail down all the bits and pieces, we want to bring it to you for the approval for the repairs. So as you'll see, these character-defining chimneys are in need of some substantial repair. The goal will be in the repair to take them down brick by brick, fix where they're cracking. A lot of them have to come all the way down to the roof line just for their structural integrity, and then be rebuilt with the existing brick, and then sourcing some historical brick where needed for the design elements. Also will be the portico. We'll get over to the portico pieces, and you'll see there where we have some issues with some of the rocks, so we're looking to fix that piece as well. This is fairly standard repair of a historic building. Sadly, it will be very important if we can't move on it quickly, but it is fairly standard in the repair of stonework, and just needs a quick approval for you in those same 2 recommended actions.
Who will be doing most of the repair work? Pieced out?
We had some, our city engineer had sourced a couple of people, but I'm not sure if they're still able to do the work, but it will be pieced out to technicians that are able to be well-versed in this type of work. There aren't very many left that can do this kind of masonry work on a house at this age.
So they're going to try to use the same brick? So they got to clean every piece?
Yes, sir.
I will not be applying for that job.
So our approval accepts all of this, no matter when and where?
Correct. These
to go
approvals
forward
do not
with it.
expire, and so since the city commission approved the expenditure of the funds for the repairs, this approval would allow, when we do source and finally confirm all of the contractors or individuals that might be involved in the project, to move forward without delay.
And you'll be overseeing all the work to make sure they do it
We have a
correctly.
wonderful city engineer that will be taking care of that for
Okay.
us.
I was wondering how you find brick that matches.
There are places that you can source similarly historical brick when you demolish a building. There may be somewhere that has to be purchased new, and then you try to be using it on the rear side or on an internal piece if possible.
Do you just try to find whatever's closest match, probably? Yeah.
Usually, and you can usually tell from buildings in the same region or in the same years. So, architectural to salvage type yards,
Mhm.
very good for that.
Is there a public hearing? Is
Well,
there-
yeah, there's no public hearing on this,
There's
No public hearing on this? Okay.
simple review.
Any other questions?
Do it?
Seekum?
I move to approve the project.
We have a motion to approve, and we have a second. All in favor, say yes.
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 Yes. All opposed, same sign, no. Motion carries. Old business,
I just have one item to update you all on. As you remember, we are still completing our historic preservation resurvey of the downtown district, the entire C3. I spoke with the consultant on Wednesday of last week to evaluate our progress. She has the report completed in both English and Spanish. We are proofing the Spanish version in-house currently and do not have it finalized with our edits. We have done the English version. And she is about 50% through the upload to the KHRI GIS system with the state. We had originally planned for her to present to you all tonight, but I asked that with those still standing outside items, we were going to try for the first meeting in October. And hopefully we can have more of our commissioners there. After we bring it to you all to present, ask any questions. We will be taking it to the city commission as well as they approved the expenditure of funds. This is a really big survey that we've undertaken. It's probably the largest we've done in at least 15 years of size and scope. So a lot of really great finds. I just wanted to let you know that we're still making progress and still hope to have it before the winter season begins.
thank you. Any new business?
No, sir.
No new business? I consider us adjourned.